This behavior is going to get you your next raise, promotion, or client. Of course, what I'm going to tell you that you want to do is stand out. But you're not going to accomplish this in the ways you were taught in school or by your parents. This isn't about extracurriculars or the things you put on your resume. Unless your job has a very particular qualification needed to practice, like medicine or law. From this point forward, I want you to understand that your resume doesn't mean a damn thing. The employers and the clients don't care about where you went to school. They don't care about your degree. They don't even truly care about your years of experience. And stay with me here. They want two things. Number one, they want to like you. And number two, they want to be confident that you can add value to their life, their company, the environment, etc. They want to be confident that you can help them. Authenticity is the key to accomplishing both of these things. Right now, you're listening to Naked and Noisy, Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman. I'm Natalie Hughes, your host and your coach in this series. In each episode, I'm giving you the tools that you need to create the life you've always dreamed of without the soul-crushing sacrifice that you were taught to endure. Whether you're ready to be treated like the industry leader that you are, you're ready to be drunk in love with your soulmate, or you're ready to wake up to a closet full of Jimmy Choo every morning, this is the podcast for you. Hello, Miranda. For those of you that are new here, Miranda is the nickname that I have given you in order to describe your personality. I'm referencing the very popular television show. All right, let's jump into the episode. In today's episode, we're talking about exactly how authenticity is going to get you your next raise, your next promotion, or your next client. First things first, there's two things that authenticity is going to get you. First things first, authenticity helps you stand out to your people. We'll talk more about this later in the episode, but standing out means that some people will not like you. You will not be for every company or client. The good news is the people that do choose you will feel uplifting and aligned to work with and to be around. So if you pretend to be someone else in order to succeed at a company or in your industry, then you're going to spend your life being miserable in the name of a paycheck. And this just isn't necessary because you're the creator of your reality. And you have the power to create a world where you're financially successful without the mental and emotional and psychological sacrifice, right? What I'm saying here is that you create an emotionally fulfilled life when you surround yourself with your people and let everyone else fall to the side. So authenticity helps you stand out to your people. It's okay to be disliked. You will not be for everyone. And you just get to let that be okay. You want to use your authenticity to stand out in your industry or at your company. And now we're going back to what we talked about in the intro there. Your resume doesn't mean a damn thing. Again, unless your job has a very particular qualification, you're in medicine, you're in law, your resume doesn't mean anything. And even after you've gotten the qualifications, it really at some point just stops mattering. And let me just give you an example. If you've got 10 people who are all trained and who can all get you the result that you desire, how do you choose your person? 10 people, they're all trained. You're going to choose the person that you like the most. That's it. You're going to use your authenticity to stand out. You're going to use your authenticity and your personality to attract your people. Because that's what's going to get you hired. That's what's going to get you higher up in the company. That's what's going to get you higher up in the industry. That's what's going to get you chosen by that particular client. You've got an abundance of people in the world who are all trained. They can all get you the result that you desire. You're going to choose the person that you like. You're going to choose the person who you like to be around. You're going to choose the person who you like to talk with. You're going to choose the person who you identify with, right? Your authenticity creates an experience where there's just something about you that draws people in, right? You've got a certain je ne sais quoi. You want people to like you. You want people to be around you. And authenticity, being your true self, is the only way that you can truly do this, okay? You've got your je ne sais quoi, right? And your je ne sais quoi is your soul's essence. And we've talked about this. We talked about this in was it the last episode? No, I think it was like 2 episodes of the podcast ago when I was talking about when I look at Maki Mak, I see me, not my face, but my soul's essence, right? Your je ne sais quoi is your soul's essence, and your soul's essence is expressed in a multitude of ways. Your soul's essence is expressed in the colors you choose to brand your business. Your soul's essence is expressed in the kind of pantsuits or dresses and heels that you wear to work, the way that you color your nails, or what you wear to an interview. Your soul's essence is also the ideas you receive and the way that you present those ideas. Your soul's essence is your perspective, your unique perspective, which is a consequence of your lived experience. All of these things come together: who you are, where you're from, how you see the world, how you communicate, the ideas that you think, your favorite television show, your favorite celebrity. I can't even say unique like a normal human being anymore, because every single time I think the word unique, I hear Beyonce in my head. U-N-I-Q-U-E. U-U-N-I-Q-U-E. Unique. That's what you are. Stilettos. What did she say? I don't know what the next lyric is. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the next lyric is. It doesn't matter. The point is, who else in the world are you going to come to for life, mindset, and manifestation coaching and a podcast who's going to talk to you about the importance of authenticity, and then in the middle of that, go on a little 2.5 rampage talking about Beyonce and the way that she says unique and her use of the word unique in her Renaissance tour and in her Renaissance album. You're not going to click on a random podcast from a random person at a random place and get a reference like that, an experience like that, on a topic like this. All of that came together to make up my je ne sais quoi, my soul's essence. Another great example of my je ne sais quoi is the name of this podcast. I edited it. We had a little rebrand. Are you liking it? For the Mirandas that were here in the previous episode, previous seasons, are you vibing with it? I'm vibing with it. I love it. I think it's fabulous. But the name of the podcast just used to be Naked and Noisy. And now it's Naked and Noisy, Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman. Why did I keep Naked and Noisy? First of all, because my name is Natalie, starts with an N. Second of all, because I really like alliteration. It's alliteration, right? Why do I keep... Hold on. Hey, Siri. Define alliteration. Lord, she's taking too long. I know something went wrong. You can't hear her, but she's in my ears. Yes, okay, it is alliteration. And sometimes you have to double check. This is a podcast about trusting yourself. We'll get to that later. Sometimes you have to stop in the middle of your podcast episode to double check. And that's okay. I'll talk more about that later. Refocus. I'm here. I kept the naked and noisy because I like alliteration and my name starts with N. And it's not just a podcast providing manifestation tools to the professional woman, even though obviously that's what you're getting in this podcast. It's also me, right? The naked and noisy is a bit of like a double entendre. It's ultimately a podcast about experiencing more pleasure in your life, about creating a life that is more pleasurable. And that's what you think when you read the words naked and noisy. Sounds like you're, doing the do, having a good time. You're naked and you're noisy, right? Double entendre. You get me? But this isn't really a podcast talking about physical intimacy. But you listen to the podcast, you apply the things to your life. Ultimately, you're going to create a more pleasurable life. But it's a pleasure that is derived from creating a life where you can be who you truly are, while also getting everything you've ever wanted, being naked, being your authentic self, being noisy, being loud and proud about it. The double entendre is me. That's my brand. That's who I am. So when you see the title of my podcast, Naked and Noisy, Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman, just based off the title, you know exactly who I am. You know exactly what you're going to get when you click on that podcast, when you click on an episode. You're going to get manifestation tools. You're going to get somebody who's communicating directly to a professional woman. Hello, Miranda. But you're also going to get humor, because Naked and Noisy is at the very beginning. You're going to get somebody who's a little raunchy. You're going to get somebody who's a little risque. You're going to get somebody who likes to play games. You're going to get somebody who doesn't shy away from things that people are usually a lot more reserved about, ashamed about. All of that is coming together. That's my brand. My Mirandas, my women, my ideal customers, my ideal clients are going to like a woman who owns her pleasure. They are like that. They are that kind of woman, a woman who owns their pleasure, or they want to be like that too. So what would happen if I wasn't willing to offend people or stand out by living in my authenticity? Would you just continue to scroll past the Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman podcast? It sounds kind of boring. And maybe you wouldn't scroll past it, but you probably would scroll past it if you were interested in having a laugh while you listened. you would probably scroll past the manifestation tools for the professional woman if you were interested in having a good time. If you're up, it's Sunday morning, you're cleaning the house, and you want to be able to laugh and have a key. Maybe you got a glass of wine while you're doing the dishes and all of that good stuff. You want something that's a little bit more upbeat. You want to open the blinds. You want to let the sun in. You want to open the windows. You want to air the place out. You want to start the end of your weekend on a really good note. If you just saw a podcast that said manifestation tools for the professional woman, that might not lit you up. Yeah, that might not light you up. But if you see naked and noisy, manifestation tools for the professional woman, well, that's intriguing. My Miranda's going to say, what is this about? Naked and noisy, that's funny. Naked and noisy, that's interesting. Naked and noisy, I'm intrigued. It's who I am. There's cheetah print in my thumbnail, picture, art, whatever. It's bold, it's me, it's daring, it's divalicious, if I do say so myself. There's rolls of money on the side, which I contemplated keeping or not keeping. I had to keep it because I love it. It's for the professional woman. It's for the woman who wants to make more money. It's for the woman who wants to be more bold. It's for the woman who wants to be more open. It's pink, which is girly. It's gold, which is a little opulent, a little elegant. It's perfect. It's the perfect mix of all of the things. But I think it's the perfect mix of all of the things because it's me. It's everything that I am. A little risque, but also professional. I like to have fun and I like to laugh. And I also like to deliver massive value. And that's exactly what I tell you in the title. And that's exactly what you're seeing when you're looking at the art for this podcast. I'm standing out by being my genuine, authentic self. And what would have happened if I said, no, maybe I should take out naked and noisy. No, maybe I should do something like this and this and this. Maybe I should have a podcast like something else. Maybe I should have a different name. I don't know anybody else who has a manifestation podcast that's titled like this. What if it doesn't make sense? Da 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 da. I could have talked myself out of this. I could have compared myself to the other shit that I've seen. I could have taught myself that I have to be like someone else in order to succeed. But then I would have lost me. I would have lost my je ne sais quoi. The podcast stands out because I don't know anybody else whose podcast sounds like naked and noisy manifestation tools for the professional woman. Doesn't that just sound like a fun thing to share with your girlfriend? Oh my God, I'm listening to this new podcast. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard of. Oh my God, girl, what's the name? It's called Naked and Noisy. Your friend's like, what? What the hell is it about? She's like, it's about manifestation. She's like, it's called Naked and Noisy. It's about manifestation. And she's like, yeah, but the girl's whole thing is that she's being authentic and boldly and loudly herself. And the girl's like, oh, I didn't think that. Da 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 da. And now you're having a conversation. The title of my podcast is a conversational piece. And I'm also fun and I'm also raunchy. And I don't know how long we're going to last on YouTube. I don't know. I have to look into the rules of what I can and cannot say because I don't know if we can lose that. I don't know if we can lose it. It's not worth it. The percentage of people who listen to their podcast on YouTube, I don't know if it's worth reaching, y'all. I really don't. Anyway, so all of these different elements come together and they create my je ne sais quoi. People pleasers do not have je ne sais quoi. They do not have je ne sais quoi. People who doubt themselves do not have je ne sais quoi. People pleasers have an energy of hiding away. The woman who's not going to name her podcast what she really wants to name it because some other business coach from somewhere else might tell her that that's a bad idea, because somebody else from something else who does something else might disagree, because the next person might not like it, because somebody somewhere out there might not get it. That's a people-pleasing behavior. That woman doesn't have je ne sais quoi. People pleasers have an energy of hiding away. When you're a people pleaser, your energy, your subconscious thoughts, how you're going to be perceived by other people is as if you're saying, I don't feel safe enough to show you my real self. So I'm going to show you whoever I think that you need me to be. People pleasers have an energy that communicates to others, please don't see the real me because you're not going to like me. People pleasers have an energy that communicates to other people, please don't see the real me because I'm afraid of judgment. I'm afraid of criticism. I can't handle it. I already know that I'm not good enough. So you don't have to waste your time telling me that I'm not good enough. Just overlook me. Just overlook me. People pleasers do not have je ne sais quoi. People pleasers have an energy that says, just overlook me, just overlook me. You want to show up being your authentic self because that's what's going to call the attention towards you. You want your next client, you want the raise, you want the promotion. That means you want attention. You want attention. You got to be willing to accept that you want attention. You got to be willing to honor that you want attention. And understand that the recipe for getting the attention that you seek is not copying and pasting somebody else's personality, somebody else's body, somebody else's whatever. The recipe for being seen, the recipe for getting attention is being your genuine, authentic self. When you show up as your genuine, authentic self, you have that je ne sais quoi. You have that, I don't know what it is, but it's just something about you. It is just something about you. If they put you in a lineup of a whole bunch of people who are in your industry, who are doing the same work as you, if they put your Instagram in a lineup of a whole bunch of Instagrams of people in your industry, of people who are doing the same work as you, if they took you and they lined you up, would you stand out? Or would it look like every other Instagram out there? Would it feel like every other Instagram out there? Because that's not going to get you picked out of the lineup. That's not going to get the attention of your boss. That's not going to get the attention of the higher ups. That's not going to get the attention of the person doing the hiring. That's not going to get the attention of your ideal client. But when you show up as your authentic self, it's going to be something about you. It's intangible. It's je ne sais quoi. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to name it. I don't know how to describe it. It's just something about it. Something about it calls to me. You can look on my Instagram. Great example. Keep scrolling long enough. At one point, I had a I'm sorry, I love her, but it was very boring, white, pink aesthetic. You know, the pink is me and the white is me, and, you know, it is what it is. And I'm just repeating it, and it's cute, and the grid is cute. And then at some point during last year, maybe like November, I went, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this quote unquote perfect. This is what I think it's supposed to look like. This is what my coaches and my mentors' Instagrams look like. I can't do this. It has to be me. I have to be me. It's going to be weird and it's going to be quirky and it might not make sense and it might be fucking random, but I have to do it. And it just has to be me. And you can scroll through my fucking Instagram. And if you're a sensitive, intuitive person like me, then you can feel the difference in energy. I open up my Instagram feed now and I'm like, pow, she's here. Hello. I feel your energy, Miss Matthews. I know who you are. I know what you are. Those other Instagram posts, they were not me. The information is great. What I'm teaching is great. I'm still teaching the same shit. I'm still selling the same courses. I'm still doing the same work. The delivery is pretty similar, but the look, the aesthetic, the colors that I was choosing, the fonts that I was choosing, they have changed. For one launch, I'm doing rainbows. Right now, I'm focusing on blue because that's like the theme for the receiver's mindset. So it's going to be blue until maybe I'm done talking about the receiver's mindset or I feel to do something different. But you can feel my energy in every single post. You take my Instagram and you put it up against other Instagrams of other coaches. There's somebody, it doesn't have to be everybody in the world, but there's somebody in the world that's going to say, I really like that shade of blue. What's going on that account, right? And the person who says, I really like that shade of blue, that's Miranda. That's Miranda. The person who says, I really like that cheetah print, that's Miranda. The person who says, let me tap on that picture. Is that rolls of hundreds on the side there? That's Miranda. Your people are not going to hire you, your clients, your bosses, the higher ups at the company. They're not going to pay attention to you because you do the greatest job. My content has been amazing for years. I've been doing amazing work for years. But that doesn't grab attention. I don't grab attention when I'm hiding who I am. I don't grab attention when I'm trying to be like somebody else. I grab attention when I do the only thing that I can do that nobody else can do. Nobody else can have my life experience. Nobody else can have my perspective. Nobody else can have my creativity, my ideas, my inspirations. I create my graphics. For the most part, I'll start off in Procreate. And I love that. Because everything, even the blue background, you'll see as different hues and shit like that of blue on my website, on my Instagram, all of that. I made all of that. I chose the shades. I'm choosing the hues. I'm in my little artist era, mixing and blurring and adding different effects and choosing the text and moving it around in this color for this, and let's make the font pop out like this and all of that shit. I'm doing that. You can't get a Canva template for that. And there's nothing wrong with the Canva template. Obviously, I use Canva templates still. But even when I use Canva templates, I got to switch it up. I got to be me. How would I do this? What's my spin on this? How many people would think, let's take that cheetah print background, move it over here, do something like this. And for the Facebook group, let's move it around like this, resize it like this, add the group to it. Perfection. How many people would think to do that in that particular way? The answer is 0. They might have a similar idea, but they wouldn't have the exact same idea. That's je ne sais quoi. I don't know what it is, but it's something about this. I can't put my finger on it. It's something about you. And it's your soul's essence. It's who you truly are. And when you're not showing up authentically in your speech, in your dress, in the way that you present yourself to the world, in the way that you express yourself, right? When you're not showing up authentically, you don't give people the opportunity to notice your je ne sais quoi. You don't give people the opportunity to see you're hiding. You're telling the story, I'm lame. I'm really not a cool person. I'm really not good enough. So overlook me, overlook me, overlook me. Ignore me. Don't like this. Don't like this post. Ignore this post. This post doesn't mean anything. No, don't follow me. No, I don't have anything interesting to say. I'm not an interesting person. I'm not a cool person. You could be doing everything in the physical reality. You could be taking on extra hours. You could be doing extra work. You could be kissing all of the ass in the world. You could be trying to be the nicest person, trying to, tell the greatest jokes. And you could be trying to lighten the mood and get people to like you. But your energy is still saying, overlook me, don't see me, ignore me, please. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. You're repelling the clients. You're repelling the raises. You're repelling the promotions because you don't want to be seen. But when you show up authentically, you're going, this is me. And I like me, and me is fabulous. And you're giving your people the opportunity to say, I like her. I don't know what it is, but I like her. Let's click on her website. I don't know what it is, but I like her. Let's click her LinkedIn profile. I don't know what it is, but I like her. Something about her. It's something about her. Let's book a discovery call with her. It's something about that post. I want to know more about her. It's something about the name of her podcast. It's something about it. Je ne sais quoi. Got it? The question that you want to ask yourself is, do you want to be liked by others more than you want to be seen? We're having a conversation about people-pleasing behaviors. Do you want to be liked by others more than you want to be seen? Do you want to be liked by others more than you want to be successful? Because that's what you're communicating when you're showing up as a people pleaser. When you're hiding yourself, when you're just trying to be liked, when you're avoiding being authentic, when you're avoiding rocking the boat. You're saying, no, I actually just want you to see me in a positive light more than I actually want to be seen for who I genuinely and authentically am. I actually just would rather have a thumbs up and a gold star instead of having the money that I desire. I actually would just rather have as many people as possible liking my posts on Instagram instead of having the people who actually want what the fuck I have to offer being in my world and buying my shit. I actually just want to be liked more than, anything else. I am willing to sacrifice my success. I am willing to sacrifice my emotional fulfillment in order to be liked. That's what you're saying when you're in that people-pleasing behavior. And you are sacrificing your emotional fulfillment because you don't actually genuinely and authentically feel liked when you're being a people pleaser, when you're not being who you genuinely and authentically are. Those people don't actually like you. They don't actually know you. So you're, settling for being superficially liked, fake liked. You're not being seen. You don't actually feel emotionally fulfilled by your job or in your work environment. And you're also not making as much money as you could be making. Even if you are making good money, you're not making as much money as you could be making because you're not standing out. When you stand out, you're the person that people want to go to. When you stand out, you're the person that people seek out. I have a dentist who I have been going to since I was 4 years old. I have had the same dentist for all of my life. I've gone to other dentists in my lifetime, but this is the dentist that I go to most consistently since I was 4 years old. More often than not, I'm going to this dentist. My dentist is in Southern California. I currently live in Central California. I'm about 2 hours away from my dentist. And when it's time for a checkup and when it's time to get my teeth cleaned, I am taking that 2-hour trip. Well, technically it's a 4-hour trip. I am taking that 4-hour trip to Southern California to my dentist. Because I don't know or like the dentists in Central California. I think I went to a dentist in Central California once. I know I got my wisdom teeth removed here. I don't even remember why. I don't even fucking know. Doesn't even matter. Couldn't tell you. They don't stand out to me. I'm going to take a 4-hour trip to go to this dentist because I like him and I trust him. That is my dentist. I like him and I trust him. He makes me feel safe. When he's cleaning my teeth, he tells me, okay, we're going to do this now. Okay, we're just doing this, just doing this. I like that. I need that. Tell me what you're doing. Oh my God, I remember I went to a dentist the first time. This is like a really quick 2.5. We're doing great on time. Went to a dentist. This was maybe like in elementary school or middle school or something. Probably elementary school. And I went there and I freaked out. I had to get like a filling or something. And they were not telling me what they were doing. So just a whole bunch of fucking drills and saws and like all this fucking shit. And I'm terrified out of my mind. And I kept moving because they're not telling me anything of what they're doing. So I'm scared. I'm terrified. And they like strapped me to the fucking dentist thingy-majiggy. And afterwards they're like, here, do you want a toy? Fuck you and your toy. I'm never coming here again. And I never went back to them, obviously. But when I go to my dentist, he always tells me exactly what's happening. I've been going there for like over 20 years, which makes me very scared because he is old. So long live the king. Okay? If I have it my way, then my kids will be going to this dentist. Anyway, let's move forward. So showing up, being who you are, is going to get your people, and they're going to be loyal to you. Nobody's going to be loyal to you as a people pleaser. Nobody's going to be loyal to the person who they don't have genuine, authentic connection with. The person who they don't genuinely and authentically know. The person that they have really cool, great small talk with, right? They might not absolutely hate your guts. But I'm not taking a 4-hour trip to the person who, I don't know, he's kind of okay. He's an okay dentist. No. I'm driving 4 hours because I know him and I like him and I trust him. And I know the dentist assistant and I know her and I like her and I trust her. And she's been being nice to me since I was 4 years old. They have my business and they are keeping it. Even now, as I get older and I have to get my own insurance because I'm no longer on my mother's insurance. We're going to have to make sure that insurance can be taken by that particular dentist because I got to have it. Period, point blank. Need it. You want to become the person who's needed? You want to become the person who's sought out? You want to become the person who's notorious. You want to become the person who's known as a leader in your industry. You're going to form genuine, authentic connection with people. It's not because you're going out of your way to do it, to be someone that they like. It's because you're showing up. You're being who you genuinely and authentically are. And your people are going, I like this. I like how you show up. I like how from day one you have been communicating to me exactly what you are doing while you're drilling and sawing and doing all of that scary shit on my teeth. Thank you. I like that. I like how you show up. Maybe it starts with people liking your style. I love talking to her. I love that we have the same interests, whatever. So when you decide that you want to be seen and you decide that you want to be successful more than you want to be liked, that means you're willing to not give a shit. If somebody isn't for you, if a company isn't for you, if an environment isn't for you, doesn't mean a damn thing about what you get to have, doesn't mean a damn thing about who you get to be, because you're the creator of your reality. Okay, there was a study that was done. It was a poll by YouGov, which is a marketing research and data analytics firm. They did a poll among American adults in 2022. And in that poll, 56% of women described themselves as people pleasers. And a whopping 70% of the women polled said they go to great lengths to avoid conflict, quote unquote. 68% of the women also said that they put others' needs first at the expense of their own. That's 70% of women avoiding conflict. 70% of women people pleasing. You're going to great lengths to avoid conflict. You're going to great lengths to avoid rocking the boat. You're going to great lengths to get people to like you. You're going to great lengths to be avoidable, yes, to be agreeable, to be likable. That's not what's going to take you to your next level. That might get you in the door. That might get you, you might be able to be in a company for a long period of time and you're likable and you're agreeable and, you show up and you do your job. But when you want your next level, when you want to be more like notorious in your industry, when you're known, when you're respected, when you're seen as a leader, especially with clients. You don't just want the clients who come in and buy one thing and never come back. I've had clients for years. Most of my clients, when people come into my world and they buy one thing, they buy another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. So many women in my world have been here since I was doing tarot readings in 2019. These women who like who I am, who I genuinely and authentically am, have followed me from doing tarot readings to doing life coaching, manifestation coaching, law of attraction coaching, law of assumption coaching. They have transitioned with me, followed me through different Instagram accounts, followed me after I deleted my first YouTube, started my next one. It's because they like who I genuinely and authentically am. And when I'm willing to be disliked, I'm willing to be okay with people not liking me or the changes that I'm making, I get to create those bonds. The bonds that I do create from being my genuine, authentic self, they're permanent. They're consistent. They're reliable. They will, what's that phrase? Withstand the test of time. And that's what you want. You don't just want to make connections in your industry and connections with clients so that you can say, I've got all of these connections. You want to make genuine, authentic connections, being your genuine, authentic self, so that when somebody becomes aware of an opportunity, they can go, oh my God, do you know Miranda would be so perfect for this? Oh my God, we're dealing with a problem in our company and we do not know what to do. Do you know who could help with this? Miranda. Miranda would be absolutely perfect for this. I do not know what the hell just happened. Hold on. I have my laptop connected to a thingamajiggy and a thingamajiggy cut off. Excuse me. Anyway, they think of you and they go, Miranda would be perfect for this. The people you have genuine, authentic connection with, they're going to genuinely and authentically recommend you for shit. They're going to think of you for shit. If you're spending your time trying to be liked, if you're spending your time trying not to stand out because you're afraid that people might have a negative response to you, you're not standing out. You're forgettable. You want to be who you are. You want to be different as fuck. You want to be the person that they will pick out of a lineup. Because you're going to be the person that comes to their mind when they're looking for a coach. You're going to be the person that comes to their mind when they're looking for a consult. Oh my God, do you remember that girl? I had the greatest conversation of my life with her. You're having a conversation with someone. You're being your genuine, authentic self. You're working in real estate. That person's not on the market for a house right now. But 6 months, a year, 2 years, something happens, something shifts. They're talking to a friend, they're talking to a loved one about a house. I need to sell this house. I'm ready to buy a house. Things have changed in their job. They're not going to remember the girl who was boring and bland. They're going to remember the woman who stuck out. They're going to remember the woman who had an infectious laugh. They're going to remember the woman who had this wit that was just crazy. They're going to remember your genuine, authentic self. Okay? All right, next one. The second way that authenticity is going to get you your next raise, promotion, or client is that authenticity shows self-trust. Authenticity demonstrates leadership abilities. Authenticity establishes and earns respect immediately, right? When you're being who you think that others want you to be, people can sense that, even subconsciously. And you seem untrustworthy, right? You seem like you're hiding something. And you seem like you're unsure of yourself. And it's that you don't trust that you can be liked. And it's that you don't trust that you can do a good enough job. And while you're not trusting that you can be liked, and you're not trusting that you can do a good enough job, people are picking up on that. And it repels them. They're going, I don't know why, right? Just like you have that je ne sais quoi when you're magnetic and you're attractive to your people because you're being your genuine, authentic self. When you're being a people pleaser, when you're not being your genuine, authentic self, something's off there. I don't know. There's a negative je ne sais quoi. There's a mal je ne sais quoi. That's my take on the French. That's my take on the French translation, right? Mal means bad in French, from what I remember. You seem like you're hiding something because you are. You're hiding your genuine, authentic self. That's untrustworthy. You don't know. You're unsure. That does not inspire confidence. When you're being a people pleaser, you're not establishing respect of yourself. You're not establishing credibility. You're doing the opposite. You're repelling them. They're unsure of you. They're like, oh, this sounds good, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to check and see my finances. Oh, I don't really know. I have to have a conversation with my husband. I don't know. Back and forth. We don't know. We'll get back to you. We're not sure. We found somebody else. I'm not sure about her. I don't think she's ready. Now, the advice to be authentic is probably the opposite of everything you've ever been taught in your life. Because you've been taught to be more palatable and likable, whatever that means for you, right? And it's the worst possible advice that you ever could have been given. Or it's the worst lesson that your parents and your teachers could have ever fucking taught you. The worst. I'm going to give you a story. So I saw this video on, I'm pretty sure it was TikTok. And it was this woman, and she was talking about, she worked at a job and she had this boss who picked on her, would just constantly say things to her or would talk negatively about the work that she was doing, was giving her negative feedback. Nothing she was doing was ever good enough, blah, blah, blah. So she had this negative experience with this boss for like months, okay? I think it was months. It was weeks at the least, but I definitely feel like it was months. Finally, she hits her breaking point with the boss and she sticks up for herself. She's like, well, what the hell do you want me to do? I don't know if she said hell, but she's like, what do you want me to do? She stands up for herself. And when she stands up for herself, the boss responded positively. She, quote unquote, gets the boss's respect. And he responds to her and he says something like, that's the first time you've ever spoken up to me. Took you long enough. Now, I don't love the example because the boss is obviously toxic, but the lesson is valid. A lack of self-respect does not inspire respect from others. Authenticity shows self-respect. Not liking yourself, not trusting yourself, not respecting who you are and how you feel and what you think, that does not make people want to respect who you are and how you feel and what you think. So you've been taught either directly or indirectly from your parents and your teachers and your caregivers that being too different isn't good. That having a body that's too different isn't good. That talking too loud isn't too good. That, I don't know, how else could you be fucking different? That was the biggest one for me. My body, not good enough. My tone of voice, not good enough. My laugh, too different. My voice, too loud. My talk, too frequent. And so what happened? I learned to be less of myself, dislike my body, not like anything that I have going on, want to be less of myself. But all of these things that I am naturally make me an incredibly great leader, make me an incredibly great coach, make me an incredibly great online business owner because I can get on camera and I can speak and I can perform and I can be in person with people hosting workshops. I can be in an auditorium. I can be speaking and helping and serving because I've got a really naturally loud voice. I'm a really good communicator. I'm a really excellent podcaster because I'm a talkative person. All of these things that I were taught to be ashamed of, that I was taught were wrong, they're really, really good things. They're really, really helpful things. The way that I cuss, the way that I joke, the way that I speak attracts my people to me, helps me stand out in a positive way to them. So, okay, being a people pleaser doesn't make people want to be around you, right? Especially not in business. Remember, people want to be around. People are going to hire the person that they like, and the person who can get them the best results. People pleasing doesn't make you likable, and it doesn't make you respectable. You're unsure of yourself. You don't think you're very likable. You don't think you have great ideas. You don't trust yourself. That does not make people like you. That doesn't make people want to be around you. The smart boss or client doesn't want a yes man. They want someone who is going to tell them that something is fucked up. They want someone to correct them. That's valuable. That's value. Rocking the boat is value. Do you hear that, women of the world? Doing the absolute most to avoid conflict, being corrected, and rocking the boat is value. Your next promotion, the person responsible for your next raise, your next client, they're not looking for someone to say all of the right things. They're looking for results. They're looking for someone to fill in the gaps. How do you show up as a necessity? You show up authentically. Now we're having a conversation about not hiding yourself. When you show up authentically, you establish yourself as a necessity because you demonstrate when you share your ideas that you've got something to offer that nobody else in the team has to offer, right? You're sitting in a meeting, we're having a conversation about our goals and about how to do XYZ different thing. And we've got this particular plan and everybody on the team is super on board with this plan, but you're sitting, and because of the way that you perceived the reports from last quarter, and because of the way that you studied, and because of the way that you think, and because of the things that you know about the market, and the things that you know about the ideal client, and the things that you know about the process, you're going, yeah, the plan looks good, but a couple weeks down the road, they're going to run into this issue and this issue and this issue. And what we really should be doing is looking at this and focusing on this. And maybe if we did something like this instead, that would be even better. When you hide that, when you look around and you go, everybody agrees, so I don't want to rock the boat, you're not showing up authentically. You're hiding your genius. And you're not standing out. But when you show up authentically and you share the shit that the people hadn't looked at, you share the shit that the people hadn't ever thought about before, you get real with the people. Well, now you're saving us so much time because we almost followed this really shitty idea. You think and see things in a way that nobody else on this team thinks and sees things. We need you on this team. We need your help. We need your support. This is something that I really have been mastering over the past several months. I was afraid to share and to be open and honest with my clients because, what if they don't like what I have to say? Or what if they don't agree? What if it hurts their feelings? Then I had to realize you're not paying me to be your friend. You're paying me to get results. And you have a blind spot. You have something that you don't see, and I see it, so I'm going to communicate it to you. And when I express that authentically, then my clients go, oh my God, yeah, I did not see that. I did not think that. No, you're right. I thought that I was doing that, but now I see that I'm not doing that. I have a client, a mentee in the Next Level Mindset Mentorship. And she is selling a course of hers right now. And I follow her personal account, and I had seen her doing a little bit of advertisement, and I said, okay, that's interesting. And I ended up going to her profile. She's selling this course. I'm looking through her profile. I don't know anything about this course. I don't know what the course is about. I don't know what the course is going to help me with. I don't know anything about this course. What's going on here? And so I had brought it up to her just a little bit in passing during one of our calls, not a recorded one, just the mixer that we have every month. I brought it up to her. And she was like, oh yeah, I did that. I made a post about da-da-da-da-da. And then what did I do? I said, oh, okay, well, maybe I didn't see, maybe I didn't know, maybe I wasn't right. I totally took back my statement. Oh no, if you said that you did the thing and you showed up and da-da-da-da-da, then that's great. You know, like you did the great thing. Don't let me bulldoze over you. Don't want to show up authentically. Don't want to be offensive. Don't want to rock the boat. Okay, no big deal. Let it go. But I couldn't let it go because I was right. And so I think when I had told her that in passing, I hadn't really gone through her Instagram and all that stuff. So before our next call, I actually went through her Instagram and I looked. And it was like, no, I was right. You're not sharing. You're not doing this. So then in the next call, which was a recorded call, I told her everything that was coming up. No, you're not doing this. You need to be doing this for this. You need to be communicating this. You need to be posting more about this. I don't know what's going on in your Instagram. I don't know what's going on in your profile. I don't know what's going on with your name. I don't know what's going on with your bio. What is this? People need to understand this. People need to be communicated this. How are you communicating this? And all of these other things. And then she took that and has started posting more on her Instagram. And I'm seeing her little post. Now I'm seeing her post and I'm going, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah. Now you're demonstrating some expertise. Now I'm understanding what's going on. Now I'm understanding what's inside of the course. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is great. She wouldn't be selling her course in the way that she's selling it had I stayed in that people-pleasing energy. Oh no, I don't want to be offensive. Maybe I was wrong. Being willing to doubt myself when I know my shit. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Period. You want to be a necessity? You show up authentically. You trust yourself. You've got to trust that the ideas coming to you are good enough. You've got to trust your communication skills. You've got to believe in your ability to communicate effectively. How many women do you know who say shit like, sorry, was that clear? Or that was probably jumbled. Sorry about that. I have a friend. Love her to death. She does that. Will send a voice message and then be like, oh, sorry, that was probably really jumbled. That probably didn't make any sense. And I'm like, that was literally the most clear shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. Yes, it made sense. How many women do you know that undermine themselves in that way? How many women do you know that don't trust themselves? Does that behavior, does that way of thinking, does that way of showing up inspire respect? Does that inspire confidence in your ability to carry out a task proficiently? When you don't trust yourself and you undermine yourself, does that inspire confidence? Does that inspire other people to have confidence in your ability to carry out a task proficiently? And this is not about, oh my God, being perfect, never making a mistake. Just at the beginning of this episode, I was like, did I say the right word? I don't know if that's the right word or not. But I didn't have a moment of going on a downward spiral. Oh my God, that might be the wrong word. What if I said the wrong word? Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. You guys can't trust me now. What if the other things that I'm saying are incorrect? No, it's just a fucking word. Maybe I said the wrong word. So I looked it up. Okay, that's the right word. Great, let's move on. You can authentically make a mistake. And when you accept yourself, and when you trust yourself, and when you like yourself, a mistake is just a fucking mistake. Let's move on. I'm still great. I still trust myself to do an amazing job. I still trust the information that I'm giving. I still trust my ability to teach. That inspires confidence in my ability to carry out a task, in my ability to teach a course in an amazing kick-ass way, right? Ask yourself, how much time do you spend censoring yourself or thinking over and mumbling on your words? How authentic are you in your day-to-day life? Authenticity communicates to others. I like how I think. I like how I speak. I respect how I communicate. I like how I teach. I like how I serve. I like myself. I believe that I'm good enough. Other people sense that and they respond positively to it. So it's not about perfection. I make a mistake. Do I know the right word? Sometimes in previous podcast episodes, I'm like, am I using the right word there? If I'm not using the right word, fuck it. You understand what I mean. Let's move on. It's not that I have to be perfect. It's that I authentically like myself. I authentically trust myself. I authentically trust myself to communicate what's alive within me in an effective way. That's it. So even if I use the wrong word, or even if I use a mistake, or even if I stumble upon my own words sometimes, I go, oop, okay. Yep, that's what I think I say most often. Often. When I say something a little bit weird, I'll either just keep going or I'll be like, yep, that's it. Po body's perfect. Yep. And then I just move on to the next thing. So you don't have to be perfect to be respected by others. In fact, I think it's the opposite. When you're willing to make mistakes and still like yourself and still love yourself and maybe even laugh at yourself, not in a depreciating way, but then just like, oh, that was silly. Let's move on. It inspires respect. It inspires self-compassion. You're leading yourself always. So authenticity shows that you're a leader. In your job, you are a leader. Even if your promotion wouldn't be into a position of high leadership in your company, you're still being of service. You're still helping others. That's leadership. A good leader trusts herself. She trusts her perception. She trusts what she knows. She trusts what she's learned. And she trusts what she's observed. She acts on her intuitive nudges and she follows through on her creative ideas, even when they might rock the boat. You're helping someone with things that they aren't experts in, right? And you have to be, because if they were experts, then they wouldn't need your support. If they knew more than you, then they wouldn't need your support. If they were capable of getting the results they wanted without you, then they wouldn't need your support. Even if you're working under someone, even with your, raise or your promotion, I'm sure that they want an employee who can make them better, who can make them look better, who can help things run even more smoothly. Your boss wants the employee who is going to be just as good as them or better, because that's the employee that they don't have to watch over like a hawk. I know this in my own business. If I'm going to hire an assistant, if I'm going to hire a social media manager, if I'm going to hire somebody to do email marketing, if I'm going to hire somebody to do something, then you need to be doing it just as good as me, or you need to know more. Otherwise, I'm delegating and I'm getting you to carry out these tasks. But even when I'm not doing it, I'm worrying about it. Is it good? Is it going to be a mistake? Is there going to be a typo in it? Is it going to come out good? Is it going to be good? That's not saving the energy. That's not helping me. That's not supporting me. I'll do it my fucking self. I know how to do it. I can do it quickly and I can do it easily. Certain shit just becomes tedious. Certain shit just becomes stuff that I don't want to work on. Certain shit just becomes stuff that I don't want to use my energy and my focus on. So if the point of hiring an employee is so that my life can be smoother, so that my life can be easier, so that I can do more with less time, with less of my energy, if I've got an employee, if I've got somebody who's working for me, if I've got somebody who's working with me and they're not making my life easier, they're adding stress, they're adding worry, you've got to go. I'll do it myself. So they want the employee who's damn good at what they do. Because that's the employee they don't have to watch over like a hawk. When you show up authentically and you own your greatness, and you do an amazing job, right? You are a source of relief for your boss. You are a source of trust. With your je ne sais quoi, you bring something extra to the table that would be missing if you were gone. So with your self-trust and your je ne sais quoi, you bring something extra to the table that would be missed if you were gone. Your authentic, one-of-a-kind personality and your perspective and your skill would be missed if it were gone. That's the kind of person that they want to keep around. That's the kind of person that they're going to move some shit around in their budget for. That's the kind of person they're going to say, this is more money than I've ever paid for a course before. But I love your delivery. I love the way you teach. I love the way that you speak. I love the way that you think about it. I love your interests. I love who you are as a person. And I want to develop this skill. I believe that you can help me develop this skill. And this is how much money you need. We're going to make it happen. This is how much you're asking. This is how much more money you want to make. We're going to make it happen. We're going to figure it out because I need you here at this company. This would be missed if you were gone. Really great example. I know we're already over an hour here. Oh my God, no, we have to speed through this. Oh, we don't have time for an example. It was a really good one though. Just pretend that I gave it, okay? Pretend that I gave a really great example there. So your je ne sais quoi, your self-trust, you're the person that they want to keep around. You're the person that they want to hire. How do you communicate this during an interview? By being yourself in the interview. By being witty and not holding back on the things that you want to say in the interview. By being open and honest and sharing your great ideas in the meetings, in your day-to-day life. By allowing your soul to be more free in your workplace. It will stand out. And being your authentic, amazing self is difficult for women because of jealousy, right? What happens if you do too good and other people feel threatened? What happens if you do too good and then other people feel threatened? The answer to this is that you've got to be willing to feel better than others. I have a feel better than others workshop that I'm going to somehow figure out how to put up on sale. I just do not feel like dealing with that right now. But if you're like, feel better than others, I don't understand anything about that, or I really struggle with feeling good even when people dislike me, and you want that workshop before I figure out a way to get it out and for sale, then you can email me, natalie@nathews.com, and I'll figure out a way to get it to you and we'll make something happen. But anyway, you have to feel better than others. You have to be willing to feel good even when people hate you. You're great, you're shining, you're doing an amazing job. The girls don't like you, they're making passive aggressive comments. Baby, that shit has to go in one ear and out the other. Because I like me. And I love having a good time, and I love making money, and I love being successful. And even if you hate my guts, I get to still have a good time. I get to still have a good life. And if it gets too bad, then I'm an empowered woman and I can manifest a different work environment, period. So there's that. And we got to take this back to the poll that we talked about earlier in the episode from 2022, right? 70% of the women polled said that they go to great lengths to avoid conflict. 68% of the women also said they put others' needs first at the expense of their own. If others need you to pipe down and shine less brightly so that they don't feel threatened, what are you going to do? Do you refuse to share your ideas? Do you refuse to give all that you could possibly give to your clients, to your company, to your industry? Because of a shady thing that somebody else said or a shady thing that somebody else did? Whether it was recent, whether it was at this job or it was at an old job or some shit that happened way back when? At the end of the day, you've got to understand that hiding yourself away is just not leadership. It's self-sacrifice. And it's not a behavior that inspires others to respect you or to respect what you need. You don't respect you. You don't respect what you need. That poll indicates that 70% of women aren't making the impact in their industries that they could be. 70% of women are not providing the value that is already inside of them. And not only are they suffering because of their lack of authenticity, but so are their companies. How many amazing ideas and projects and concepts haven't been born because a woman was afraid to stand in her authenticity? How much money is being left on the table in your company or your industry or in your business because you are afraid to stand in your authenticity? The question that you need to ask yourself is, do you know what you know so strongly that you trust yourself more than you trust the quote unquote leader above you or the client working with you? Your willingness to trust and rely on yourself is going to get you your next raise, your next promotion, or your next client, maybe all three. Authenticity communicates to the world, this is me, take it or leave it, and your people are going to take it. Being authentic can also trigger some fears within you because of stories you've heard and things you've experienced with companies and clients, right? You can think thoughts like, what if they don't like me? What if I lose opportunities by being my authentic self? And to those valid fears, I say this: your company isn't the only company. Your boss probably isn't even the only boss at that company. The lead you've got a call with isn't the only potential client. Like, that's it. It's not that big of a fucking deal. One person doesn't like me. Oh, well, thank God that there's billions of them. One company doesn't hire me. Oh, well, thank God that there's thousands of them, that there's millions of them. And maybe you've only heard of shit companies, right? Maybe a part of you doubts that there could be better environments out there, environments where you would be supported and able to thrive. Maybe you've only heard of shit companies and bosses because you have only been a vibrational match to that. Let's talk about it. Your beliefs and your vibration impact your perception. Your brain literally looks for evidence to support your beliefs. So if you have been telling the story that it's not safe to be authentic, then subconsciously you've been looking for shit companies or focusing on miserable employees to affirm that belief that it's not safe to be authentic, or that corporate culture has to be toxic. The point is this: you don't need every company or boss or potential client to like you or to have the best environment for you. All you need is one. And if you can find one, then you can find a million, because you're the creator of your reality. And your reality is just a reflection of your beliefs. You can create the beliefs that it is safe to be authentic and that there is an abundance of companies, bosses, and clients available to you right here and right now. And if you're looking for a step-by-step process and breakdown on how to manifest the companies, the bosses, and clients who are going to respect and respond positively to your authenticity, then Module 2 of the Receiver's Mindset course is the place you need to be, period. Inside of that module, you're learning how to create a life where you feel safe to be yourself and where you're surrounded by people who like who you authentically are. You're learning how to attract and surround yourself with people who eagerly prioritize seeing you, connecting and working with you, and taking care of you. You're learning how to believe that you naturally belong within the group of people who have what you desire. You were made for your every desire, right? This is the module where you squash imposter syndrome. And lastly, in that module, you're learning my empowering forgiveness process. And it's an exercise used to clear energy of past hurts, clear the energy of past hurts in the workplace. And that's going to make space for you to receive your people, and it's going to help you establish new expectations and beliefs around the relationships you're choosing to create. This means you'll become someone who expects people to treat you with respect and kindness in the workplace, and you'll also attract that experience as well, right? You can use the link in the show notes to learn more, read client and student testimonials, and enroll in the course today. I hope that this episode helped you. Feel free to shoot me an email, comment, or DM letting me know if you feel aligned with the Receiver's Mindset course. I'd love to support you inside, and I will talk to you next Monday. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you laughed, learned something new, or just loved the time we spent together today, please leave a review of the podcast so that it's easier for the other Mirandas of the world to find it too. And if you want to connect with me between episodes, I highly suggest joining our free Facebook group using the link in the show notes. Love you lots, and I'll see you in the next episode.